Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Honesty is the best policy, a saying everyone would have heard in school. But what is the significance of this saying when it comes to the capital markets? Let us try to find out. What is integrity? Integrity is the quality of being truthful, honest, and honorable. You might be wondering whether this is a video on finance or philosophy. Well, integrity plays a huge role in a country's economic prosperity. I will explain this to you with a hypothetical example and also a real life example. Let's say there are two friends who live in the same locality. Both of them have a toy store. These friends are quite close and they spend a lot of time together. There is a lender in this locality who gives loans at 10% interest. One of the friends requires 1 lakh rupees to run his toy store. So he goes to the lender and takes a loan. However, it turns out that this friend is dishonest and he runs away with the money. The lender faces a loss. A few days later, the other friend requires money to purchase inventory for his toy store business. He approaches the lender. The lender is aware that he is a friend of the person who ran away with his money. The lender is also aware that both of them run toy store businesses. There are a lot of similarities between the two, so he feels that just like the friend who ran away, the other friend too will turn out to be a cheater. Now, there are two possibilities. The lender will either refuse to give a loan to the other friend or he will ask for a very high interest rate to compensate himself for the high risk of default that he faces. Did you realize something here? Actions of one person has an impact on others even when they are not involved at all. The other friend had to either pay a very high interest rate on a loan which could have cost him just 10% or not get funds at all. Both the friends were working in the same industry, that is, toy stores. One of them was dishonest, and due to this, the other friend too had to face consequences. As the lender already had a bad image for toy store owners, he was very harsh towards the other friend and he refused to lend him or asked for a very high interest rate. The other friend was not at fault, still, he was punished. Another very relatable example is when one person in the classroom does some mischief and the entire class is punished by the teacher. The same thing happens in capital markets. When a company does some fraud or its management engages in market manipulation, then investors, lenders, etc. will be unwilling to give funds to other companies in the same industry. Or they will ask for more interest or more returns to compensate them for the higher risk, and as a result, the cost of funds for all the companies in the industry will increase. Due to this, the profitability of companies will take a hit as they will have to give more interest to lenders, and also the investors who provide equity capital to the company may not be willing to invest because of trust issues. When companies in a country don't get funds or they have to pay high cost for these funds, then the country's GDP will be affected because productive projects won't be able to go through. Imagine a startup that is solving a very important problem which can improve the lives of people. It fails due to lack of funds. The country and its people will be at a loss. I will give you a real life example that happened in India a few years back. It will perfectly sum up our discussion. In 2018, IL&FS and DHFL defaulted on their borrowings, and it turned out that both of these companies were involved in fraudulent activities. These companies were big names in the Indian NBFC industry, also known as shadow banking. Due to these defaults, the cost of borrowing for NBFCs went up immensely and other NBFCs started facing cash crunch. The cost of borrowings for this industry was so high that all the NBFCs started facing troubles and the entire industry was shattered. Even today, a lot of these NBFCs have not recovered. They are still facing the consequences of a default and fraud in which they had no part to play. NBFCs provide funds to people and businesses to whom banks might not be willing to lend. As these NBFCs went into trouble, they were not able to do their job of lending well. And as a result, not only did the NBFCs suffer, but also the people and businesses who were getting loans from these NBFCs suffered. You see, it is very important that companies and their managements stay honest. They have a lot of responsibility. Any wrongdoing by them can decimate the entire industry and hurt the nation's prosperity. If you have any doubts, then you can mention them in the comment section. I would be glad to answer. If you have any video suggestions or you want to discuss anything with me, then you can connect with me on social media. I've put the links in the description box. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for my upcoming videos. Do share it with your friends and family who might be interested in finance. Stay tuned. Thank you.